Let's get it. Heart throb never.
Who should get reparations? I was listening to a content creator the other day, and he was talking about how he didn't agree with reparations because his thing was American blacks don't know who should get it. The reason, he gave a couple reasons, but this specific reason I'm focusing on, he was like, one of the reasons I don't support reparations is because, for one, it's going to cost the country too much to do it. And then two, y'all don't even know who y'all want to give the reparations to. And I'm just thinking, like, I mean, I know what he means by that, him saying who should get it, because it's, you know, all the different black people and the ones from Africa and this and that. But the answer was within his question. The government, just like all governments of the world, have methods and systems in place to keep track of who's who by ethnicity, when you came into the country, and the whole deal. And no one's better than that than the United States. Passports, social security cards, birth certificates, that whole deal. And apparently he doesn't understand the delineation being made that the reparations aren't for people who are from the Caribbean. They're not for people who are from Africa. This is for people who are specifically American black in the Americas, in the United States and America, that their lineage traces back to slavery 200 to 400 years ago. This is simple. It's a simple thing. And in regards to, you know, him talking about it's going to cost the country too much. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot to try to do it that way. But, you know, once you delineate it down, if you're trying to do it for all the people that you're thinking are going to be in the pool of getting reparations, yeah. But when you break it down to just those people whose lineage comes from that, it gets simplified. It costs the United States a whole lot of money when they send all these economic support stipends yearly to all the countries that they support. And I won't mention the countries. Most of you already know who the countries are. And they get monies for defense, they get monies for agriculture, and this is in the billions of dollars. And we ain't even going to talk about the multiple billions of dollars that have been sent to a country that's currently at war with their own neighboring country. Not mentioning no names, you all know who it is. It's costing the country a lot of money to load up EBT cards for illegal immigrants, or for immigrants to come in legally, but the type of support that they're getting, you know, no Americans, let alone American blacks, have gotten that type of monthly stipend. $20,000 a month? There are no Americans that I know of who've gotten that. Maybe some have, but I don't know any that have gotten it. No Americans have gotten the type of immediate housing assistance for displacement the way that illegals have gotten. All we got to do is think back to the situation of Katrina and the many storms and natural disasters that have hit America and hit Americans that Americans didn't get. Some of them were still displaced, never got their housing back. But in regards to reparations, that arguing point is simply to try to neutralize or nullify the support argument that American blacks should receive reparations for unpaid labor of their ancestors, as well as the heinous treatment and genocide and terrorism that was enacted upon them. Since it was never paid, it's owed. O-W-E-D. Owed. It was never paid, so it's owed. There have been people who receive reparations and economic support packages for crimes that happened against them that it didn't even occur in this country. So it's okay for everybody else to get it. But for some reason, as I'm always stating, when it comes to American blacks, it's always an issue. And then this particular arguing point, well, y'all don't even know who y'all gonna give it to. That's a silly arguing point. You see? Because everybody that's in the United States is an American black, and they've proudly claimed that they weren't. They proudly claim we don't have a lineage of slavery. It's what they said. They didn't want to be a part of the American black ethnic group. It was something to laugh at. But since American blacks are standing on business about a reparations legislation, now all of a sudden it's, well, no, you guys shouldn't get it. And you even have other ethnic groups rallying, have the nerve to rally and talk about they're against reparations for American blacks. Like the hatred. Like, for one, it doesn't even concern you. Two, you're talking about, well, that's our tax dollars that's going to have to come out of. Tax dollars are used for everything, including for your illegal ass to be over here right now. No, it ain't got nothing to do with your tax dollars. It's got something to do with the topic of caste once again. And you don't necessarily have to be darker skinned to be in a low caste on a global scale. You see, we're not thoroughly versed as to how this caste thing works. But in Africa, we clearly have dark, very dark people in rulership over very dark people. And in some instances, it's kind of the same way in India. The thing is that American blacks are just now starting to wake up to this construct that was able to be hidden from us during the centuries when we were asleep, meaning when we were in slavery. And when we were under, the systems of Jim Crow and segregation and all of that. But to me, the question of, or the statement of, y'all don't even know who y'all going to give it to, that's a silly statement, in my opinion. And I feel that it's just thrown out to, try to throw off a person's, laser focus or a direct offense when they're trying to stake a purpose and a righteous claim for reparations. Because if you're human at all, there's no way that you can justifiably, in your mind, let come out of your mouth that reparations are not due to American blacks due to the treatment of their ancestors. Like the way that they've been set back, the way American blacks have been set back to be placed economically and educationally and, just politically and resource-wise was set back hundreds of years and have an unfair fight of having to fight through all of the obstacles and setbacks that were placed on them. So yeah, like our ancestors went through the slavery, but us alive today, we directly experienced segregation. There's, people who directly experience segregation and lynchings and church bombings and all types of terrible things. That shit didn't go nowhere. Once again, we're still talking about Sonia Massey. We're not letting that go. So it's not even about, somebody not knowing who's going to get it. They figured out a way as to how to give it to every other ethnic group that got it. And most of the people who got it, there's all types of subgroups within them. I'm sure they didn't break that all down to make sure that only those people were getting it. But we have a clear path that has been documented through governmental systems as to who should get it here. That's simple. You can track us anywhere else. Don't give me that. Y'all let the first thing fly out your mouth, how powerful America is and how their technology is. But all of a sudden, something as simple as tracking who's from an American black lineage and slavery, it becomes an issue. See, you full of shit. The fuck out of here. We know who to give it to. And so do you. I'm out.
Throb never.